Hey, this is Blake from the Gig Harbor Fly Shop, and today I'm going to tie up the egg Hareball leech for you, and I hope you can join along and tie with me. And want to go over the materials real quick for this one, and then I'm going to do another fly right after this, tying this one up. That's going to be a variation, and we'll go over the materials for that at the end. So we're going to start with these Arex hooks, and these are the NS 110s, and we're tying these on a size 2. It's a straight eye streamer hook. We're using some large eyes, brass eyes. These are pseudo eyes from Hareline, but the Spirit River Real Eyes Plus 7/32 are also great, or the Dazzle eyes. For the tail, it's going to be black rabbit, and then for the body, it's going to be first there's some black holographic flash in the tail. Then we wrap the rabbit with Grande UV Estes in black. And then for the head, there's Ice Dub in red. So all the materials are listed in the description. And so we'll get going on this fly right here. Attaching the eyes with some figure 8 wraps. Putting the eyes on the top of the hook will invert the hook in the water when you're retrieving it. This fly will ride upside down like a clouser. A little bit of UV flow to keep stuff in place here. Start with my rabbit strip. Tying some holographic flash for the tail. Tying some UV Estes. This is what I had, was the UV Estes, but I would recommend actually going with the Grande UV Estes. Just a little bit longer fibers. It's going to stick out really well. Okay, now I'm just going to take this material here. We're gonna wrap it together so that the UV Estes is in between the rabbit. You can use cross-cut rabbit strips if you want. I like just using the regular one for this one because I like to have more of it sticking out, not so much laid back. I like the movement that it gets. I can trim that later, but decided to do it now. A little bit of flash. Okay, so then I'm just going to create a dubbing loop here. You don't have to do a dubbing loop. You can use you could use just chenille, but I'm gonna do the dubbing loop. Couple figure-8 wraps to create the head on it. Okay, there's the hair leech. Okay, so now let's tie up a variation of this one that's going to be pretty cool. So for the variation, there's a new product from Hareline called Bling Strips, and what they've done is that they've glued to the backside of the rabbit these different colors and flash materials, and I'm actually going to use this green one. And what I'm going to do is that even though this hook is going to ride upside down, I'm going to tie the rabbit upside down just to have that green on the bottom. I think that'll be pretty cool. So at the end, I'll go over all the materials that I'm using. Okay, got our figure-8 wraps on the eyes. Drop of UV flow. Okay, I'm going to tie this in with the green facing up, because then that means that the green will be on the bottom when the fly rides through the water. I'm going to tie in my chroma flash. Love this stuff. It just, especially the green color. I haven't really used the other colors, but this chartreuse color just lights up in the water. Shorten this up a little bit. More flash. It's always better to have more flash, except when it's not. Okay, put a bunch of flash on the bottom here. So now I'm going to tie in my regular rabbit strip. And then I'm going to tie in this UV polar chenille, and it's got a really long fiber, and this stuff is really cool. Use it on a lot of different steelhead flies and trout spay flies too. But now when I wrap this stuff, I could wrap the rabbit first, but I'm just going to wrap them together. But I want that polar chenille to not get wrapped under, so I'm going to kind of hold it right next to it. Just make sure these things don't get wrapped under. Pick them out a little bit there. Okay, tying off my rabbit. Now I'm gonna do an extra wrap of the chartreuse right there, just to kind of create a little bit more. Just making sure nothing got wrapped underneath in here. Okay, and instead of using dubbing for the head, I'm just going to use some cactus chenille. So just using medium chartreuse cactus chenille. Couple figure eights around those eyes. There it is, revised hair leech with the cactus chenille head, the UV polar chenille body, and the bling strips on the bottom of the tail. Hey, thanks for joining us for this fly tying session, and for the materials that we just used in the variant. I want to go over those real quick. For the tail, we're using the bling strips from Hareline, and so this is what it looks like in the package. But I want to show you real quickly some of the other colors that they have. There's some really cool stuff that I think a lot of you are going to have fun with for big trout streamers, as well as for bass flies, salmon, steelhead, all sorts of stuff. So we took the tail and tied in some chroma flash chartreuse with that bling strip. And then when we wrap the body up with the black rabbit, we also use the UV polar chenille, and this stuff is great. I love using this stuff on all sorts of flies. And then we just finished that egg head off with some cactus chenille in chartreuse. So have links to a bunch of the materials down in the description below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you get updated with all of the different flies that we have coming out. Thanks.